All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to thank everyone that took advantage of the trade day promotion. That promotion is gone. There's no longer a 50% off discount at the moment I'm filming this. But if you still want a discount, you can still use my coupon code HonestPropTrader to get 20% off on your trade day evaluation. And if you watched my previous video, why Tradovate is the best futures prop firm, you can kind of see why I think it makes sense for futures prop traders to use Tradovate. But today, I'm actually going to talk about the genius behind prop firms and kind of explain their business model or how I believe their business model operates and why I still think it's worthwhile for futures prop traders to take advantage of them. Um, so we're gonna just dive right into it, and this is one of my top five prop firms, Take Profit Trader. This is actually the first prop firm I've ever used that offered an end of day drawdown, which I noticed made a really big difference for me. So shout out to Take Profit Trader, and I like Take Profit because they're pretty transparent about a lot of things, but something that they kind of share details on is their Pro Plus account. Now, a lot of prop firms have it where when you go get a funded account, you'll start off in a sim account, and then eventually, if you're good, you'll graduate into a pro account where they fund you with real money and your trades really go to the market. Um, and that's kind of the path, right? Like if you're going to be a futures prop trader, your goal really should be to start trading like real money at some point. Now, um, I make this video because I like transparency, and I think traders should understand the business model. Like I have a lot of friends that they come to me and they'll say, well, prop trading is a scam, or prop trading isn't real because they just want to take everyone's evaluation money and give it to XYZ traders. But the whole point, that shouldn't, like, I don't even think about that, to be honest with you. And I'm going to share with you guys why in this video, because to even get a payout from a prop firm, you have to have some level of skill. You have to be a good enough trader. And I think they make rules in both the evaluation stage and the payout rules to make sure you really have skill to be able to get payouts. So I think as traders, if you're focused enough on your skill set, you shouldn't have a problem. Um, Now, with the math of it all, right? A lot of people say, well, if I'm trading sim, how can they afford to make a payout? How can they pay me and every trader that's making a withdrawal? And that's part of the issue itself. Is a lot of people are not making withdrawals. To be honest, I'd say the majority of people are still failing their evaluations, but ideally they should be learning and developing. And I always say on my channel, I made videos about this before, that there are plenty of free ways to test your strategies in the market without going to a prop firm evaluation. Or you can trade paper trade, and there are a number of ways you can paper trade, and I made videos about that on my channel, where I kind of go over free ways to expensive ways to test your ideas out in the market. So I believe you should only get a prop firm evaluation when you feel like you've tested your strategy, it makes sense, and you're confident you can pass the evaluation. Um, I don't think the evaluation stage is where you should be trying your ideas out. But to kind of keep going, right? Okay, how do prop firms work? How do they make money? How do they afford to make payouts? So I'm gonna just read first from Take Profit Trader's website, where they describe their benefits of a Pro Plus account. A Pro Plus account with Take Profit is a live account. It's an account where you're funded with live money, and your gains are real and the withdrawals are real, right? So they say pro accounts are $0 margin live accounts that have the following benefits: no daily loss limit, no 50 executions rule, 90-10 profit split, trader directly routed to the exchange, not sim or copy traded, no buffer zone requirement. Each trader that will reach a $5,000 profit in the Pro account will be presented with the opportunity to move on to a Pro Plus account. So what does that mean? That means if you trade and you make $5,000 profit in your sim account, your funded sim account, you're qualified to go to a Pro Plus account with live money. Now, remember, if you're profitable $5,000, that means you can withdraw a payout for the max $5,000 and no longer have an account. But what they're basically saying is if you keep your $5,000 in the account and you're willing to go to a live funded account, then you can have all these benefits they listed, right? Which no more daily loss limit, no 50 executions rule, 90-10 profit split, and there's no buffer zone requirement. Now, here's where I think, just to kind of be really fair or clear about this, at that point, if you made $5,000 in an account, there's no longer any risk to take profit trader, right? The biggest account they offer, the drawdown, I want to say, is $4,500, meaning if you go into a pro account and they put $55,000 in your account, $50,000 is money they're funding you with the account, but the $55,000 above the 50K is actually money they owe you from the profits you gained in your sim account. Meaning, in a pro account, the only money at risk is the money they actually would have owed you if you took a withdrawal, right? So from that point on, it's almost risk-free for them, because if your account draws down the $4,500 or whatever it is where your buffer is, the account fails anyways. So their $50,000 is always safe. So I'm not saying that they're not giving you money to trade with and there's not a benefit to trading their money, but you're basically trading with money you earned, right? Like the money you earn in the sim account is the buffer they're using in your pro account. And this is true across the board for prop firms. Not all of them, but most of them, when you go into a pro account, the money that's being risked in the drawdown is actually money they would have owed you had you taken a payout. Most of the time. Not all of them, many of them. And this is why you see the profit splits get more generous, because, again, the risk is really on you at that point. And for them, it's all upside, right? Like if you do continue to trade well and you make more money, they're now getting a cut of that. But if you don't trade well, they'll almost never lose their 50K. And I say almost because you're not allowed to hold overnight with these accounts. So there's not really even overnight risk where overnight something could happen and the market just drops really crazy overnight, they lose money. There's almost no situation where they would lose their initial investment into your account. So where does that leave us as traders? Like why does it still make sense? Because you still get more leverage. You have a ton of leverage that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And leverage is not good or bad. It's just you have to know how to use it. You have to know how to manage it. I think having an account with prop trading, it helps you by learning how to follow the rules and to pass evals and get payouts. I think it does teach you how to trade and how to manage risk. And I do think there's a benefit to that. Now, you might say, well, why don't I just take my money out and fund my own account? I'm actually an advocate of that too. I think you should be doing that sometimes. But I also believe that there are benefits, right? Like having a 5K account, there is a difference between having a $5,000 account and a $55,000 account with the $5,000 drawdown. And like, let's say, for example, your drawdown went down to like from 55K, you went down to $52,000, right? So meaning you have $2,000 of equity in the account. With your own money, there's no situation where you'd be able to put on 10 minis, E-minis, which you probably shouldn't. But in a funded account, you would have that possibility still, right? Like these still give you access to capital. and you do gain more capital than you would have with your own money. So I do think that's a benefit. Um, and I've even seen some companies saying if you're in a pro account and you make XYZ amount of money, the split goes out to 95-5. And that's again because you're risking your own money at that point. You're risking money that the prop firm owes you. So to even get to that point, you have to be a skilled enough trader to even make that kind of money in your account. So I think as a trader, the focus should really be on skill. Focus on honing your skill to where you can build yourself a nice cushion, to where you're not worried about drawdowns or daily loss limits, to where you can have the flexibility to really be risking your own capital in a way. I think it's genius for prop firms. I think they make they make a lot of money. Like it does make sense where if you make a certain amount of money in a sim account, they're gonna have to move you to a live account because they, like I said, they cannot continue to pay you out real money from sim profits, because at some point, if you're a good enough trader, you know, it just the math doesn't make sense. For them, it's less risky having you as a good trader in a live account where each day you're making real money and they're paying you out of real money that comes in their account, versus paying you out of simulated profits. So I think the business model makes sense. I think it's genius. I think traders should consider this when they're going to these Pro Plus accounts or live funded accounts, where I'm not saying you shouldn't feel grateful that they're funding you with the additional capital, but at some level you should also be aware that you're only risking your own capital. Like you're risking the money they owe you almost every time. So I think I say all that to say just focus on your skill, focus on building a sizable cushion, and then a lot of these things we talk about on my channel, like drawdowns and daily loss limits and things like that, it won't matter for you. If your cushion's big enough, I think almost every prop firm, once you hit a certain amount, it locks and it stops trailing anyways. So focus on your skill and build your drawdown. Build it up to where you can actually trade and not worry about things like daily loss limits. But thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you guys, and leave your comments. Tell me if you think this is fair, if this is not fair.